Hi again. We are going to continue on with Chapter 3 of Toys Go Out by Emily Jenkins, and the pictures were illustrated by Paul O. Zelinsky. It is a long day and a long night stuck in the shoe. Around 4 a.m., the one-eared sheep wanders into the closet, following an interesting smell that she smells. Lumpy can tell it's her because she makes a snorty noise when she walks. "What are you doing in there?" Sheep wants to know. Says Lumpy. "Come out, I can't hear you." "Wurfle, wurfle." "What's that?" "Sorry," says the sheep, "it's my ear. I've lost it." "Wurfle, wurfle, wurfle." Sheep doesn't understand. She is distracted by the tasty-looking lace of the soccer shoe. It's not grass and it's not clover, but it looks pretty chewable to the sheep. She settles down next to the shoe and has herself a lovely munch, pulling the lace out bit by bit. She hears a wurfle, furfle, furfle noise, and it's irritating, but she doesn't let it bother her. Pretty soon, the sound quiets down to nothing. When she is done chewing the lace, Sheep is mildly surprised to find herself in the closet. She burps and goes out to play pickup sticks with the toy mice. 2 hours later, Lumpy, who fell asleep wedged in the dampness of the soccer shoe, wakes up to find that he can lift his head. The lace has been chewed into 14 small pieces, and without it, the shoe flops open. Lumpy waggles his shoulders and stands up. Then he steps gingerly out and creeps into the bedroom to find the one-eared sheep dozing on the rug. "Thanks," he whispers, nuzzling her woolly face. "You're a true friend." Sheep has no idea what he's talking about. Just then, the little girl rolls over and makes a mumbling noise. She is waking up. Rumpa-lumpa, rumpa-lumpa. Lumpy gallops at top speed and dives behind the rocking horse in the corner. The little girl stands up and puts on her clothes. Then she begins looking around, under the bed, behind the bookshelf, even in the back of the closet where Lumpy used to be hiding. She's searching the room as if she lost something, rooting through the toy shelf, tossing whirly tops and colored markers and board games and mice every which way. Then Lumpy hears a sad sound. The little girl is crying. "He's not here," she wails. "I need him." Lumpy peeks through the legs of the rocking horse so he can see the girl's face. Her cheeks are wet. "Lumpy, Lumpy!" The girl throws herself on the bed, buries her face in the pillow, and weeps. She misses me, Lumpy realizes. She thinks I'm gone forever. The idea had never occurred to him. He rushes out from behind the horse. He remembers the washing machine and runs back behind the horse's legs. The little girl is crying out again. The washer, back behind the legs. Crying out, washer, back, cry, wash, out, back. Lumpy cannot stand it anymore. He loves the little girl and he hates to make her cry. So although he is desperately afraid of the washing machine and of the deep, dark basement with its rats and dust and spider webs, he creeps out from behind the horse while the little girl is sobbing into her pillow. Quietly, Lumpy tips over one of the green rubber boots sitting near the foot of the bed. Then he lies down, very cleverly, in front of the boot as if he'd been shoved down in there and only spilled out when the boot tipped over. When the girl stops crying and looks around for a tissue, she sees Lumpy lying there. She picks him up and kisses him all over his peanut buttery face, squeezing him until he thinks his buffalo teeth might fall out. "Lumpy," she cries, "you were in my boot." She pets his head. "How did you get in my boot, you sweetie, sweetie?" For a moment, life is wonderful and Lumpy is happy. The little girl smells him. "You stink like peanut butter," she says, "and you're greasy. But don't worry, Lumpy. I know just what to do about that." The basement is dark except for a single dim light bulb shining in the ceiling. There are cardboard boxes piled up high and a tremendous amount of dust, just like Stingray said there would be. Lumpy can't see any spiders, but he's sure they are there, hiding in the corners, ready to pop out and scare a buffalo at any time. The little girl left him sitting in a laundry hamper, and now she's gone to ask for help with the soap. Next to the hamper, the washing machine looms, towering in all its metal whiteness and terrifying bigness. Lumpy shuts his eyes and tries not to ponder it, but he ponders it anyway. He could scramble out of the hamper, he thinks, and hide himself in a corner. No. And then the little girl would miss him. He could try to climb the stairs, but he is not sure he can make it. And even if he got to the top, the girl would just find him on the floor and wash him anyway. I am a greasy buffalo, he says to himself. And there's a picture of Lumpy in the basket by the washer. He says it because it sounds tough, but he doesn't feel much better and shuts his eyes to block out the sight of the big machine. Quiet, are you? Says a friendly voice. Shoot, I was hoping for some company. Lumpy opens one eye. Who's talking? Me, Frank, says the voice. Who else would it be? Frank? The washer, says the washing machine. Lumpy opens his other eye. The machine isn't moving, but it is certainly making conversation. I didn't expect you to talk, says Lumpy in a small voice. No one ever does. It's a lonely life, says Frank. Just me and a dryer that never has anything interesting to say. Rumbles the dryer, a large brown contraption sitting next to Frank. Well, you don't, do you? Says Frank testily. Says the dryer. This is how it is, all day, explains Frank. She's never any fun. What's that on you, applesauce? Peanut butter. Don't worry, I can fix you right up. Peanut butter is no problem. I've done it tons of times before. It's very greasy. I'm an excellent washing machine, top of my game, not that anyone really notices. Tuk-Tuk never told me about you, says Lumpy, standing up on his hind legs to peep over the edge of the laundry basket at Frank. What is Tuk-Tuk? Oh, a towel, a yellow one with frayed edges. I think I've seen her around. Complains the dryer. Exactly, says Frank. Those towels. None of them ever says a word to either of us. It's like they think they're so popular. Do you talk to them? Asks Lumpy. Oh, they're busy amongst themselves, says Frank. I can't get a word in edgewise, not that they'd pay me any attention. Tuk-Tuk is beautiful, says Lumpy, who is very loyal. Pretty is as pretty does, that's what I says. Maybe she doesn't know you talk. Frank had never thought about that. If you don't talk to her, I bet she doesn't know, says Lumpy, feeling helpful. The little girl's father puts Lumpy into Frank's wash tub, adds a sprinkling of powdered soap, and presses a button. Warm water pours in. The tub is rumbling. Frank, yells Lumpy, anxious to be heard above the din. I don't feel good. Will you stop, please? Can't stop, says Frank importantly. It's a cycle. I feel sick. What a cycle means, explains Frank, is that I have to see it through to the end. How long does it last? 22 minutes. Agitation, rinse, second rinse, and spin. You have 19 minutes left. It's uncomfortable, moans Lumpy as the water sloshes him back and forth. Think of it like a dance, then maybe you won't feel sick. But there is no music, so Frank begins to sing. Shuffalo, shuffalo, greasy little buffalo, toughy little buffalo, dance that buffalo shuffle with me. Dance, dance, prance, prance, dance that buffalo shuffle with me. Lumpy likes the idea of a buffalo shuffle. He does feel queasy during the agitation, but Frank keeps singing as Lumpy sloshes around, and by the first rinse cycle, when the clean, cool water pours in to wash the soap and peanut butter away, the buffalo is starting to enjoy himself. Dance, dance, prance, prance, he sings along with Frank, waggling his tail and clapping his front paws together. By the second rinse, he is kicking up his back legs and yelling, toughy little buffalo, as loud as he can yell. And when the spin cycle arrives, he forgets completely that spinning makes his stomach feel funny. Whee! Cries Lumpy. Look at me! Then the wash is over. The little girl's father pulls him out to hang him on a clothesline in the open air. Goodbye, Frank, Lumpy calls as the basement door shuts. You have a wonderful singing voice. Thank you, calls Frank. It's nice to have someone appreciate it, says the dryer. Lumpy goes on another picnic the next weekend. Same pond, same sandwiches. It doesn't look like rain though, so the chances of going home in the picnic basket are slim. When the little girl and her father are feeding the ducks and Lumpy knows they aren't looking, he, very cleverly, unscrews the lid of the jam jar and dips his nose and forefeet into the apricot goo. I'm a sticky buffalo, he says to himself, and when I get home, I'm going to visit Frank. Sitting there in the sunshine on the picnic blanket, he begins to sing, Shuffalo, shuffalo, sticky little buffalo, toughy little buffalo, dance that buffalo shuffle with me. Dance, dance, prance, prance, dance that little buffalo shuffle with me. That is the end of chapter 3. I will see you next time for chapter